Across America, Confederate statues are coming down, and people are starting to learn the truth about our real racial history in America. And let me tell you, there's a lot to tell. So while we're in this time of reckoning, let's not just look at insidious monuments that glorify racism and bigotry. Let's take a look at our nation's infrastructure. This week, Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg spoke to the press about America's infrastructure policies that have been plagued with racism. You might think to yourself, that's ridiculous. How can infrastructure be racist? The sad truth is that most white Americans don't know our real racial history. A large portion of it has been whitewashed, or it simply never made it into the public school curriculum. After emancipation, our nation started a systematic push to discriminate against Black and brown people that has lasted and continues to this very day. Across America, we've had rampant redlining in housing, business loans, and car buying. We've had Black codes, sundown towns, Jim Crow laws, and hundreds of race massacres. We've had the purposeful destruction of thriving Black communities. We've had mass incarceration, Ku Klux Klan intimidations via bombings, lynchings, the Compromise of 1877, the Devil's Punch Bowl, sharecropping, the school to prison pipeline, and the continuous everyday racism that we now call microaggressions. Honestly, I could name hundreds of other horrific events that have negatively impacted Black, brown, and Indigenous people by way of supporting white supremacy. But today, we're talking about racist infrastructure. Following are just a few examples of what Secretary Pete was talking about. When urban planner Robert Moses began building projects in New York City in the 1920s, he bulldozed Black and Latino homes to make way for parks. He also built highways that separated minority communities from white people. Central Park in New York City had one of a handful of thriving Black communities along what is now the park's West 82nd and West 89th Street. The site was called Seneca Village, and it was a community of predominantly African American people, most of whom owned property, which gave them the right to vote. Our U.S. government used eminent domain to force the selling of property in Seneca Village. But the homeowners and property owners there were given considerably less money than the land and buildings were worth. Think about what that land is worth now in the middle of New York City. So let's get back to that urban planner, Robert Moses. When he planned New York City's infrastructure, he made sure that the bridges that were built on the parkway connecting New York City to the beaches of Long Island were too low to allow city buses to pass, which would likely carry poor minority, Black, brown, and Indigenous people. A professor of urban planning at Texas's Southern University says that race has played a central role in how cities across America have been developed and how they continue to grow. He says that freeways and bus routes are just one part of racist planning that urban planners refer to as locally unwanted land uses. Other unwanted land uses includes highways, landfills, incinerators, bus depots, chemical plants, and other kinds of projects that disproportionately fall in minority communities, which cause a lot of pollution and often hurt the health of the residents there. My hope is that this video gave you a general understanding of racist infrastructure and how money used for city planning can be used to discriminate against already marginalized people. Do you have racist infrastructure where you live? If so, tell me about it in the comments. If you believe like I do that it is way past time for white America to step up to the plate and take some racial responsibility and learn our real racial history so we can teach others, please consider subscribing or joining my Patreon, YouTube, Facebook, or any other community that I run. I host live shows every Wednesday at 9 Eastern from my YouTube channel and my Facebook page. Thanks for watching.